actually think finally we're going to talk about a movie where there isn't like porn happening or stripping or...
Did you say dripping?
Stripping.
Oh, stripping. I was like...
Stripping. Yeah. This is the least sexy movie we've talked about.
Definitely. I mean, it's got that butt shot, but that's like, even though it's a beautiful shot, and you could definitely pick a worse butt to shoot, it wasn't about that, you know what I mean? I think and of course we'll talk about that because that's one of the most famous things. But you know what I mean, right? It doesn't seem like it's one of those leering, like, "Ooh, let's look at your butt." It doesn't feel like that, right?
Yeah, it's not where I go, ooh,
look at that butt. Because she's about to get murdered. Like, she's heading towards this house. You're like, oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Well, hi, listeners. This is Earnful of Popcorn. And today we're very excited to announce that we're going to talk about a movie that you've probably heard of before. So... I feel like some of these people, write back like, oh, I loved this. But I had someone tell me just yesterday, like, hey, every single episode so far, I've hadn't heard the movie, I watched it, and I love all of them. I'm like, sweet, that's kind of what we want, right? I mean,
doing this show has gotten me to watch some movies that
sure
I'd heard of or hadn't heard of. Did the same for me. I watched it, I was like, why have I never heard of this?
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Right, and so far Body Melt was the only one for me so far, but I've been meaning to watch that for forever, and now I have. And, I think next week we were talking about, like, a newer one, possibly from a different country, and the couple we were talking about were ones I hadn't seen. So, like, Japanese horror movies from that prime time, like, 98-ish through, like, 2010, where the couple that I've seen, the Japanese horror movies from that era, are fucking really scary. Like, have you seen Ringu? Or, like, the original Pulse or anything? Or
I saw the original Pulse for the first time.
Oh, man.
Earlier this year.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, we keep watching things about the same.
It's weird. It's good that we have this podcast because it's like, well, when you first told me, I'm like, well, yeah, this fucking makes sense. How come we haven't even thought of this before? So
this is just what we do in our normal lives.
Apparently,
it's just like.
And we're apparently watching stuff at the same time, so why the hell not?
It doesn't matter what time of year it is either. It's like February.
Yeah,
I'm still watching horror movies.
Yeah, we're watching the same one.
And that movie is so good. Oh my god.
What, you liked it?
Shit.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really cool.
Oh man, that's another one I need to watch again.
Yeah. There's an American remake, probably. I wonder if that's any good. Because, like, The Ring with Naomi Watts, that's good. It's not as good as the original, but...
Oh, hell no.
But it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll give it a go.
Yeah, we could. We should watch some remake sometime, because it's like, that's such a grand tradition of horror movies,
Well, we should definitely do that where we watch remakes. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Or that'd be cool if we watched the original... talked about the original and then the remake and do that.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And talk shit about the remake.
I'll tell you a remake I don't want to watch because I know we just talked shit about it, but I've seen it. It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's the movie we're talking about today from 1974, of course. It turned 50 like a week and a half ago, which is crazy.
That's a good segue.
Right?
I'll tell you one I don't want to watch.
I know, right? Well, the thing is well, and I told you this the other day, but like the first time, like I didn't see this until I was in my early 20s, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And when I first tried to watch it, it was through, Blockbuster used to have like a DVDs in the mail service, just like Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And I ordered it, so I rented Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they sent me the remake with Jessica Biel. And I watched it because I lived alone and I knew what she looked like. But
Yeah, fuck it.
I mean, dude. I mean, come on. She's like in the rain in a tank top. It's like, well, I guess this is at least worth watching.
Yeah, she's hot.
She is super hot. But I mean, that early 2000 Jessica Biel. Come on. Anyways, let's not. We already said this isn't going to be a sexy movie, so let's not get horny. Well, as best we can, but we're just a couple of dirtballs. But really, that's why I told my friends. I'm like, hey, if you think now that I'm doing a show with someone who's not from Whitest Kids that it'll be any less obsessed with dicks, well, I've got bad news. All of our friends are like this. Sorry. Oops.
Sorry, not sorry.
We're just a bunch of weird burbs. But anyways, but no, so I was like, well, that sucks. And then, so I obviously got the new one right after that and watched it, which, that was, or not the new one. I got the original recipe, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, man, it just stuck with me ever since then. And I think it was a couple years later, you and I became friends, and that was something we first bonded over was this movie. We both liked it and gave each other presents about it and stuff. And it's still, I watch it. I actually watch it, it takes place, the movie says it takes place on August 18th, 1973. And I watch it on August 18th almost every year.
That's really cool that you do that. I just generally watch it around Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, why not,
Yeah.
And that's when it came out. It came out October 11th, 1974. So now the movie's 50 years old. But yeah, last year, the events of the movie, fake events, but whatever, turned 50 years old. So
That's so crazy. Damn. Older than we are.
yeah, not by much.
We're almost that old is what I should have said.
Dude, I mean,
almost that.
honestly, Shandy, we're going to just turn around someday and be like, oh, fuck, we're both 50. Mm-hmm. We got to stop doing this podcast. Oh my God.
I just said never, but I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be doing if we're still doing this podcast when we both turn 50.
Well, why wouldn't we?
I hope we're making some kind of money.
Oh, yeah.
And,
or we've won the lottery and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Today I'm podcasting from my golden toilet, that kind of thing.
I mean, it'll be cool if we are doing it that many years from now, because that'll mean that we are still enjoying doing it and watching horror movies still.
Yeah, I'm probably going to quit next month. I'm just kidding. Oh my God, no, I love doing this. So when did you first watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I probably saw this movie, I'm going to say, I can't pinpoint the exact year, but I was definitely pretty young. I was probably 9 or 10.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a good amount of time when I was young where I watched a slew of movies I probably should not have seen. A lot of them was alone, or I've mentioned previously with my dad or my older sisters. This one I think I watched with my dad. But it was one of those things of he was in his recliner with a beer watching it and was and I walked by the living room oh, what are you watching? He's like, oh, come have a seat and watch this with me. I think you'll like it. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know what to think about this.
I think you'll like this. I mean, that is what I said to my daughter when I showed it to her a couple weeks ago for the first time. But she's 13, and also it's I have already established that she likes stuff like that. But that's funny. Just be like, hey, you're a kid, right? Yeah, kids like rednecks wearing other people's faces and murdering innocent women, right? Yeah, come on.
I just thought it was really, really scary. I mean, just that noise.
Yeah.
That fucking noise that you all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You do it again.
That was pretty good, right?
Oh, there's...
Because there's the flash noise, it's in the credits. And
the light bulb?
Yeah, so I thought it was someone's taking pictures of gross stuff, and there's that noise. And so I thought it was maybe the flash bulb recharging or something, but it's been so long since we needed those to take pictures that I can't remember how exactly they work. But, I
mean, were people taking crime scene photos with the flashbulb cameras?
Sure.
In the
what
70s?
If it's at night? Yeah, what if it's at night?
Uh,
A lot of murders happen at night.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
But
but
not this movie.
No, that's there's a lot of there's something to be said for daytime horror, and it kind of got a little popular again with Midsummer a couple years ago. But and obviously this wasn't the first daytime horror movie, but still, it's like it's bright and it's like beautiful Texas cinematography, really great shots, and considering this is just a bunch of stoned college kids making a movie. It's surprisingly technically impressive, and this is a movie that was made totally out of the Hollywood system at all, just some people making a movie, and but yeah, that's good. I mean, it's crazy that some kids were just like, let's make a movie, and they made like literally one of the best movies ever, period.
Period. They completely encapsulate, I'm probably not saying that right, encapsulate the feeling of a really hot, sweaty Texas summer, and you almost feel like you're there. And I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I find this film an art piece in a lot of senses. Just the way that the colors are, the way that it's shot. Fuck, it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, there's shots that are downright painterly, I mean, towards the beginning, there's a wide shot of when they stop to pick up the hitchhiker, and it's like mostly sky and a little bit of ground, and the hitchhiker kind of running in from the side of the frame, and then just the van. What color is the van? It's like blue, right? Or kind of greenish, their van. Mm-hmm. And something like that. I don't know. Maybe you're not colorblind, right?
No.
Okay, well, so because I just recently found out someone else I knew, like I have a colorblind brother, that someone else I know, it's someone at work that I've worked with for years. They're like, yeah, I'm colorblind. I'm like, what? It's like, I feel like if you're colorblind, you should let people know, because like, isn't it like, can't that be dangerous? Like, yeah, I'll let you drive.
I think it depends on your job, like the job that you're doing.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's very artistic, and even when it gets scary and creepy, I mean, like when I asked my daughter today after, we watched it about a week ago or something, so I asked her today, I'm like, now that you've had some time, what do you think about it? And she's like, I love the way they dressed up the set and stuff. And I mean, that's something, that was maybe the first thing I really loved about this movie is, Tobe Hooper and pals just made it, they just nailed it with all these like bones and the feathers and stuff, because they made all that stuff.
It's really cool. You can tell they spent a lot of time setting that house up.
Yeah, the couch, and like, I would even assume that and this is one of those movies for people listening, by the way. This is one of those movies that's been discussed. Well, no, this is the first podcast that's ever talked about it, probably, right?
No one knows about this movie the way we know about it. Come on.
But so we're not going to get too much into facts, because you probably know the facts. But what I was going to say, though, is like, so one of my favorite kind of pieces of the set is when the room, they come into the house, and there's the hallway and the staircase to the right. And then in the back, there's that butcher door. And when the butcher door opens and Leatherface like grabs somebody, it's like a red wall with a ton of like antlers and stuff on it, like taxidermy, And I have to think that they decorated that. It's very possible it was at that house, but probably not. But it just looks so cool, and I can't remember.
And dirty. It looks so dirty,
grimy, and dirty, and yeah, and everything does. And you have to think some of that's just real, because they're shooting out in Texas. It probably was hot when they were shooting. Mm-hmm. It probably was dusty. So a lot of that, like, they didn't have, and that's one thing about like shooting something like this where they didn't have any money, and there were just some people somewhere not in Hollywood shooting it. Is like they didn't have someone come in like with a mister, gotta make them look sweaty. Like they were just fucking sweaty, like.
Yeah, they're very sweaty in this movie.
It's lightning in a bottle. Like you could never redo it this way. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't.
And it's great because when she like falls into that room and you're kind of and you start to see everything, you're like, what the fuck is going on in this house? Why is all this fucking shit here? There's furniture, and we were talking about this, that it's very Ed Gein reminiscent.
Again, just like the previous
furniture.
Movie. Yeah.
But
this one way more than
something
pieces.
She shouldn't be in this house. That's the immediate feeling you get. You're like, she needs to get the fuck out of there. Like,
yeah, she comes in and her boyfriend's already, these two kids were going to go, as we said last week, they're going to go fucking skinny dipping. And then there was no water. So then they go to this house and they're like, oh, and the guy walks in and then Leatherface comes out and hits him with the hammer. And yeah, what explain to the people, what is it that bothers you about his death? Because I love it.
I don't like that he starts floundering and like shaking. Like, it freaks me the fuck out. I mean, that's probably what would happen if you got hit in the head in a certain way that it would cause your body to have to convulse so violently. But
twitching.
When you find out who these people are and what they do, and you just think about slaughterhouses and things and how they used to kill the animals. Or like, so they treat people that way. Fuck, that's scary. Yeah. That's so scary.
The hammer's a good way to do it. It's, and the hitchhiker that they pick up in the beginning says that. It's like, that because they're talking about how nowadays, and I think they still do it this way, they use the air gun thing, which if anybody has trouble picturing it, it's the thing for No Country for Old Men. That's what they use to kill cows. And and they actually do make the cows flip a coin first, just like in No Country for Old Men. Call it. Oh my God. And you have to have that haircut to work at a slaughterhouse. Anyways, that's why one of the biggest brands of meat is Sugarland. Anyways, God, that was bad. Okay, but what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the hitchhiker's like, yeah, the hammer's the only good way to do it. And so, yeah, the first time someone dies, it's exactly what happens, is they hit him with the hammer and they die so good.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And, oh, yeah, I used to work. Yeah, I used to work there. I used to work at that slaughterhouse. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So fucking creepy.
And what's cool about when that guy dies and his leg twitches and it's awful and he drags him away. So then the girl is like, oh, God, I'm going to go in there. And the girl, that character's name is Pam. And the actress, I wrote this down. The actress Terry McMinn, I was talking about August 18th. That's actually her birthday, too. So I don't know if she was a friend of them and that's why they wrote it for August 18th or what. But her boyfriend, Kirk, has gotten killed by Leatherface. And this is the first time you've seen Leatherface. And you only see him for 4 seconds, right? I mean, it's like he opens the door, grabs a guy, hits him with a hammer, he's gone, right? I mean, that's kind of all you get the first time.
And slams the fucking
that
door slam. Like, that's heard across the world and galaxies.
Hell yeah. Good point. I mean, because I was just going to say, is there any more iconic door slam?
No.
Just like,
No.
It's a good door scene. So Leatherface has killed this guy, and the girl's been sitting on a little swing outside. And then she gets up to walk towards the door to go see what the hell's going on. And the camera is behind her, and she gets up and it starts following her. But it's like, well, what about this swing? Well, it goes under the swing.
Mm-hmm. That's a really cool shot.
Yeah, and so many people, even to this day, are like, wait, what? And again, I'm not going to look up why. But I'm pretty sure how they did it, but I'm pretty sure, to me, it's like a guy's probably laying on a skateboard. And they're pushing him under this. That's what I think it is. Or, they're reckless college students. They might have just tied a camera to a skateboard, not even had a person controlling, just pushed it. I don't know, but
that's why college kids making movies is really cool, because they're trying to think of different ways of how to attack getting certain shots done and may not have been done before, or it's just because they don't have these big budgets, so they're just I have this vision of how we're going to get this shot, but how the fuck do we get it?
Right. I have this vision, but I also have $4.
Hey,
so what do we do?
Or I have this skateboard that I use to get around everywhere. Let's just put the camera on it and see what happens.
Well,
there's,
and then boom,
figure it out.
It's a shot that people are still talking about 50 years later. And, this was at the height of American independent cinema in the late 60s and 70s. I mean, that's how all these people came to be, the big ones, Scorsese and Coppola, Cassavetes, whatever. And so the horror people started kind of getting into it too. And so it was shortly after this, you had John Carpenter and you had, not horror really, but the Coen brothers and Sam Raimi, that whole crew, they started making stuff. And it was all kind of came out of the same thing of just some smart, clever people who had no money, but they kind of had the skills to pay the bills. And they would make stuff, and that's all this is. But what I was talking about with the girl gets off the swing and she walks up to go find out what's wrong, like where'd her boyfriend go? She goes in, and obviously nobody's there. And yes, then she falls into that room you're talking about, and she trips and falls, and there's bones and there's feathers everywhere. And it's crazy to me that, like, we just saw this horrible hulking man in an apron and a weird mask, like, kill this dude with a hammer and drag him away. And yet, when this girl walks in and trips and falls into the feathery, into all the gross chicken feathers and all the gross bones and stuff, it's, like, so much more horrifying than when that guy got killed, I think.
Yeah, and she almost gets away too. Like, she gets out the fucking door, but he grabs her. You're like, fuck, she almost got away. Because, like I said, you're like, fuck, get the fuck out of there. She almost makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
And it's such a good grab when he grabs her.
Oh, she's flailing.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's there's a good economy there with Leatherface, because you get plenty of Leatherface in the second half of the movie, but the first couple parts you don't really, and so the couple times you see him, it's just they use him perfectly, you know, because he's just doing his like, and then he like grabs her, and it just looks so great, and then you don't see her again. Well, yeah, he takes her downstairs and puts her on the hook, and then you do see her again. Gross, but
he's fucking enormous.
Yeah, dude.
He is so terrifying looking. Like, the first time you see, I remember seeing him just going, no.
Yeah. Yeah,
nope,
he's a big,
don't want any of that.
Dude.
Don't want to get anywhere near that.
Gunnar Hansen. And how tall was he? I think
6'7".
I just saw it. He was only 6'4". But he was also like big and buff. What's crazy is that's shorter than Trevor, but Trevor was not intimidating. Like, if I don't even think Trevor could pick me up. I mean, he could pick me up, but he could pick me up as well as Gunnar Hansen picked up that girl. To be fair, I bet I weigh more than she does. I mean, when I dress like that, people aren't into it. They don't talk about the
You're
shot.
trying to run out
later.
the door, and
yeah,
he tries to grab you, and he just can't. You're just flailing, and he's just slowly trying to drag you back, and you just keep flailing. That's just what I picture in my mind. You're like,
well,
no,
he had bad OCD, right? So he probably wouldn't wear a mask made out of other people's flesh. He'd probably be like, no. Yeah. But what is that shirt she wears? It kind of like ties around your neck and around your waist, and it basically looks like you don't have a shirt on from the back.
It's a halter top.
It's a halter top. Okay.
Yeah, Timmy and his fashion.
Hey, I love it. And like I said in Pieces,
I love the 70s women's clothes.
Well, I just think they look cool, you know? And
like
you said, like you said in Pieces, like, well, I agree. Fashion shouldn't be gendered, but, there's bodies are different. And when they find the right stuff to put on the right body, it looks good. And yeah, the 70s fashion that generally was what women were wearing just still to me looks pretty timeless and great. I mean, these girls in this, they look nice, Sally has the bell bottoms, but I think those would still pass, right? She's got
those bell bottoms are cool.
Yeah, white, like flared, and they're more flared, not bell bottoms, I guess. I don't know. You'd know more about fashion than me, obviously, so you probably could say, but whatever they are. But you know what I mean? Like, they're all wearing clothes that, like, my daughter could go buy at the store, like still. Mm-hmm. Like short shorts and halter tops and whatever. And plus, it's like, when ladies are somewhere where it's super hot, I mean, it's always kind of default to the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, because you live in a city where it's very hot and you're a lady. And so that sometimes when it gets so hot, it's like, how do I wear as little as I can without, causing a problem?
It doesn't matter. You still cause a problem.
Well, not a problem, but you're not causing the problem. It's some fucking guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Ain't my problem. You're the one that got a problem.
Hey, sweetie, how about a smile? God.
Jesus. I actually have a dress that has unhappy faces on it, and I don't wear it anymore because I get bothered the most by men when I wear it. The most.
Do they say, like, give me a smile?
Yeah, because they always go, why is it frowning? Why are you wearing a dress that's got frowns on it, girl? You should be wearing a dress that's got smiles on it. I don't get it.
It's like, look in the mirror, dipshit.
Not for you to get, asshole. It's just a piece of fucking clothing that I think is funny. So every time I see myself wearing it in a mirror, it gives me a little chuckle, which makes me a little bit happier. But now you just pissed me off. So now...
Well, that's what you get, Shandi, for forgetting that you are supposed to pick clothes for men to enjoy, not for yourself. So, remember that rule?
Sorry.
I do like how somehow every episode we end up, like, bashing shitty misogynists. So that's good. Let's keep that going.
Well, we should at any chance you get.
No, yeah. Men should be set on fire. All of us. Fucking, we suck. Like, I have no problem saying that. Yeah, we had a good run. Like, get rid of us. But yeah.
But then who am I going to talk to on this podcast?
Yeah, you could. My daughter is already almost as well versed as me, and you only have to change the first name on the posters.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Maybe someday I'll just have her, like, I won't even tell you, but I'll have her do it with you instead, and you won't even know.
Oh my God, I would be amazing.
Like, and today we're talking about Day of the Living Dead. You'd be like, Tiffy, what's wrong with your voice? But yeah, it's the talk about the clothes that the women wear. I mean, everything in this movie is so iconic, and I mean that helps too because it is very timeless. It's like, it's why you still see a lot of horror movies that are more modern are often period pieces to get around the cell phone thing. But because so many horror movies like this movie would be fixed if one kid had a cell phone. But also when you think about it, I mean, phones are not perfect, and I think if you're out where they are, you're not getting phone service. So
hell no.
That's all just to say that this is like timeless,
Well, I mean, there's a good juxtaposition of the kids in the van. All their clothes look really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you got the hitchhiker that comes in. He's got like holes in it, and he's dirty.
Yeah.
So it just when you look at it like that, like you're in the fucking boonies.
Yeah.
In Texas.
The city kids, come to the countryside and bothering the folk there. And, the cook at the gas station says it like, you don't know what you don't want to go mess around with some old rock house. You don't know what people are like, and
they're not going to find too kindly you poking around.
Yeah. What he was trying to say is like, me and my brothers will kill your ass. But, he wanted to be a little more sly about it. But, I told you once we were talking about this, that some writer, I don't know if it was Outlaw Vern or somebody, but someone said one thing that, this movie really bothered a lot of people when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was violent for the time. Now when you watch it, I mean, I just watched Terrifier 3 the other day. Watching Texas Chainsaw, it's like pretty much no gore in this movie, Mm-hmm. But anyways, but it doesn't matter because it's so disturbing the way it is. But anyways, my point was that whoever it was that wrote about this said there are people when this movie came out that like, it feels like a film that was actually made by psychopaths.
Yeah, and this is like shit you could potentially maybe see happening in real life. I mean, I think that's why it scares me still is like, because you hear fucking, not to bring up Ed Gein again, but it's like, that actually fucking happened. There was somebody that actually killed people and made shit with their fucking skin. So it's like, yeah, there might be a family out there that fucking murders people passing by. Mm-hmm. And you hear people disappearing all the time, and there's fucked up shit that really happens. So it's almost like watching watching something that's really happening. Like this really happened to these people.
Well, like you said, they make it feel real, and they make it feel like you're right there in Texas the way they shoot it and stuff. And but yeah, the the Donner Party was how long ago? And Jeffrey Dahmer was after this, but still, it's always a thing. And so the documentary series Planet Earth,
Mm-hmm.
So when my daughter was like 4 or 5, I'm like, yeah, let's watch an episode of Planet Earth. But I will watch, because some of those episodes, they get kind of crazy, like animals killing each other. So I was like, well, watch this one about chimpanzees. That'll be fine. Well, there's like two warring, it was somewhere in Africa when they were shooting this, two warring tribes of chimpanzees, basically. And they don't really show it too much, just enough so you can see what it is. You can tell after the narrator mentions what it is, you can tell what it is. But before that, you can't. They cut to a shot of a chimpanzee holding something up, and then he's like, fucking David, what's his name, just so calm about stuff, and he's like,
Attenborough.
There we go, David Attenborough. He's like, yes, and the chimpanzees that win the fight tear off their opponents' faces and use them for trophies. I'm like, fucking shit.
And we're the closest to them.
We're violent and fucked up people. So all this stuff is like stuff that could have happened, possibly did happen.
And cannibalism is real. Like that's something people have done.
Yeah.
So turning victims that you've murdered into a profitable barbecue business is not that far off.
Well, let's talk about that. And just for people listening, we might end up kind of going in order. We're not right now, whatever. But everybody, so you get it. They're trying to go find the old house where their grandpa lived in, where these two of the 5 kids that are going grew up there. And so they stop at this gas station, and it's one of the earliest incidents of the gas station intended to be like, you don't want to go up there, kids. Warning the kids about something and then it not happening. But they also sell barbecue there. So you're basically saying, hey, these guys are selling human meat in the barbecue and nobody knew.
Yeah, because what else are they doing with all of the human meat?
Yeah.
That just, because they make such points of it too in this movie where he's like, I got barbecue inside. And then one of them buys some. Franklin eats one of the sausages.
Yeah.
And then later on, when they go back to the gas station,
when Sally's running away towards the ending,
when she's running from Leatherface, and she runs in like, "Help me! He's gonna kill me!"
Okay,
you see that shot of like, you see the red shot of all the barbecue, which I think it's a throwback to the beginning of the movie, where there's a flashbulb lights and there's like the red, but there's like dark bits but you can't really see what it is. I swear that's a close-up of into the barbecue part of the gas station, because it looked exactly the same. Like, if you didn't have the focus on your camera, but you were shooting into where the meat is kind of like rotating and like all the juices are coming off, that it would have that same look. That's just me, though. I'm sure there's some Reddit holes where everybody's been talking about
it. And here's the thing is like, and like we always say, it's always makes it kind of more fun when things don't get over-explained. So it totally could be that. I don't really know.
Relative.
What I have always thought is because you got the radio, starting the movie, you got John Larroquette, who went on to fame on the show Night Court, reading the narration, and the legend is John Larroquette got paid in weed by Tobe Hooper to do this.
Sweet.
Anyways, I have a friend, shout out to Amy Fivelry, who her whole type of men she likes, like, is attracted to, are like butler types, and John Larroquette kind of fits into that. So she also hasn't seen very many movies. So like when I mentioned this, and then she was trying to. The last couple of years, she's really been trying to watch all these movies she feels like she missed. So she watched this one. She's like, "You didn't tell me John Larroquette was in it." I'm like, "I didn't know I needed to." It's like, okay, but anyways, it's cool. So it starts with that, and he narrates like that was called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then it goes, you hear the radio talking about someone's been digging up graves, and then so I always thought that those and the red pictures you're talking about at the starting were someone taking pictures of the dead bodies he just dug up.
Oh, snap. That's probably what it is, though.
Did you say snap because it's cameras? Good one.
No, but whoa. Damn.
Because
am I that good? I can't be that good.
You might be that good. But then the hitchhiker shows up a little bit later, and what does he have with him? He's got a camera. Yeah. And then later, much later, when everything's gone fucking sideways and the hitchhiker meets up with the cook who has Sally kidnapped and everything, the cook's yelling at him like, "You're gonna get us." I can't remember exact words, but he basically is saying like, "What you're doing is drawing too much attention." Mm-hmm. And so I think it's all kind of right there, like, yeah. So
stay away from those graveyards.
That's
hitting them.
Yeah, it's so funny with his fucking broomstick, but like. So,
oh my God.
Like that's the whole deal. Is like this kid's been digging it up, and as they showed the very first shot you see in the movie is two bodies all tied together, looking all crazy and making a weird totemic kind of thing.
They look so good though. Like
Yeah,
that
no, it's
close up.
amazing.
Like what a way to open a
So
fucking
gross.
movie, man.
Yeah, and I think even with that first Shadows, when people saw it back in the 70s, were like, okay, whoever made this has issues, you know? Like, whoa. But, you know, so it makes me think that the hitchhiker, who, and, you know, we were talking about this before too, but the hitchhiker, as we learn in later installments of the franchise, is named Nubbins. But he's just the hitchhiker in this. No one really has much in the way of names in this movie. But
No.
but anyways, so it seems to me that he is the Ed Gein of the family, and he, well, obviously Leatherface is too because of the mask, but made out of dead people faces. But as far as the furniture making, and to me it seems like it's the hitchhiker doing it all, you know. And it's like,
yeah.
I'm just having this thought right now. But the three bad guys in the movie are Leatherface and the hitchhiker and the cook, and they each do different things with dead bodies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe, you know, so Leatherface cuts up the bodies. The cook, it's right there. He cooks them. And the hitchhiker maybe, well, I'll let you go into your theory about it that's really cool. But one of the hitchhiker's jobs might be to just fucking make stuff out of bones. I don't know.
Well, now that you mention that they all deal with dead bodies, it's interesting that they all have different stages from beginning to end. So one of them kills and butchers them. Mm-hmm. One of them cooks them. Mm-hmm. And then another person desecrates them. So it's like from beginning to end. It's like a whole fucking cycle. Like they're really good at their family business. They all are copacetic in like their roles. Like,
wait, what does that word mean?
Copacetic. Yeah. So it's like
too big for
everything's kind of cohesive.
Okay.
Like so that's probably what I should have said. It's cohesive.
Okay.
Like
you know that I'm dumb, but you don't always know how dumb I am. So you can't always.
We're dumb in our own right. Like I have stuff that I'm fucking dumb with.
Sure.
You have stuff that you're dumb with.
Whatever.
That's just that's how humans are built.
Well, and you say that
they're smart at everything.
Absolutely. But the Sawyer family, this is what they're good at. And we don't even know they're a Sawyer family till the next movie or something.
No,
anyway,
we don't know anything about that.
Well, but that is all we do know, what you said. Because the hitchhiker says right away, like, yeah, we're good killers. My family's always been in meat. And then later with the grandpa character, they're like, he's the best killer. Oh, he's the best, all right. And, you know, but also to add on to your theory about them having different jobs, yeah, it makes sense. But also, you had a theory last time we talked about this about the hitchhiker maybe having a different job when he's out there. Do you remember talking about that?
Yeah. So when the first two are they teenagers or young adults? I can't remember their character names. The first two that die. Do you remember?
They're all
names?
legal, right? I don't know. I know, terrible. I don't know. Yeah, I think they seem to be out of high school, right?
Okay, yeah, I think so. I think they're probably the same age as the people that made this movie, probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yep. Because the actors are probably their friends.
Yeah, they're wandering around the outside of the house, and they find a bunch of cars that are hidden, and they look like new cars. They look like they don't look like cars that would be in this town. They're not pickup trucks or things like that. They're like all Volkswagen Beetles, like cars that would be just passing through, which is what they're doing. So I thought, okay, they probably do this a lot. They probably kill people that are passing through this little town, and they hide the cars. Obviously, they're hiding the evidence. But I think the hitchhiker, after he cuts himself in the van and then does his little voodoo camera burn trick thing, photo trick thing, Franklin, he gets out and he purposefully, I didn't think it was purposeful at first, but
yeah, me neither.
He smears the blood from his hand on the back of the car, of the van.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, they keep mentioning it. Like the kids are like, fuck, he fucking put his bloody hand all over the van. Like, what the fuck? And then they're like, do you think he's like following us or something? So in my head, I was like, so he marked the van. He marked the van because he knew they're going to probably stop at the gas station. And then the cook was going to see it and be like, all right, we're going to tell them that we don't have any fucking gas because we're going to keep them in this little town and they're going to be next. But I guess that this is a roundabout, long-winded way of going to the theory of like, he's marking the van like you would mark cattle.
Right.
Like branded. That's what I meant. Really wanted to say. He branded the van.
Yeah, that's what you said when you first texted me this when you were watching it the other day. And I think it's brilliant. The only hole in that theory, I think, is that I don't think the cook and Leatherface know what's going down. And maybe they normally do this, but they didn't know this was happening.
Because Leatherface freaks out.
Yeah, and the cook is like, later on when the hitchhiker meets up with him again, the cook is pissed. He's like, why are you bringing people around? Look, your brother did to that door. But yeah, also, you know, the kids, you know, they stop at the gas station. And I mean, he might have been lying about the gas too, just because, like, maybe he was hoping they get stuck at the house. Maybe he just doesn't fucking like them because their clothes were clean. You know, like, whatever. But I don't know. But, you know, but they get stuck and then they end up at the house. And
it seems like the hitchhiker does a lot of shit he's not supposed to be fucking doing.
Yes, yeah. Like, they have a whole system, like we've been saying, but the hitchhiker doesn't maybe respect it as much.
Yeah, no. And, like, I don't know. Like, why do you show us all these hidden cars? That I didn't really put together till I watched it again. I was like, what is the significance of fucking that? But like you said, when the kids start showing up at the house, Leatherface starts freaking out. Like, where the fuck are these people coming from? Like, why are they in the house? Almost like he feels guilty that he had to just kill these people because they're trespassing. And maybe he was told, like, if anybody comes on the property, like the cook said, people aren't going to like you poking around. You don't know what people are going to do. Like, he's like, fuck, I just fucking kill these people. And there's more of them. Like, they keep coming. He's like freaking out, looking out the window, hitting himself in the head. Like, I love that close-up shot where he, like, his, like, tongue goes across his teeth, like in close-up. And you see his, like, fucked up teeth. And you see the mask a lot clearer.
I like that we're only on audio, but I could totally tell what you're doing right now. So, yeah.
I was doing them.
I hope this... maybe we could turn that part into an ASMR for people. Just like... yeah, it's disgusting. But yeah, you're right. And, you know, one thing you told me the other day that I really liked about this, because I had the thought before too, but you really laid it out there, is like, yeah, he's like frustrated about people coming out. God, I got to keep killing these people. But also it's like, you know, he kills Kirk. And then Pam comes in and he grabs her and takes her down and kills and puts her on the hook. And then while she's like dying on the hook, she watches him cut up her boyfriend with a chainsaw. So and then good. Jerry, in his ugly ass paisley shirt, goes to...
You don't like that shirt?
I hate it. That's the shirt that started me on hating the 70s men's fashion. But anyway, so...
You know what's funny, though, is
like, Kirk's clothes look okay. Jerry's are...
Sorry, I had to interrupt you because I didn't think about this until now. You probably would not have liked me in high school because I was obsessed with those 70s polyester shirts that had the really, really thick, long collars. You probably would have been like, ew.
Yeah, but I also was a kid then too, and people were into the 70s stuff. Like, again, you know. Also, you're not some dorky dude. You're like a hot girl wearing it. I'm sure I probably would have been like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Just because I'm fucking like that, you know? But
you know what's funny is you say this sometimes when we're recording where you're like, I haven't thought about that in forever. And that was just a moment I had right now where I went, I totally forgot I used to be obsessed with those fucking shirts.
That's awesome, though, because I can picture you making those work for you, you know? Because, like, you're tall and stuff, and the way, you know, I can see you wearing that and having it look good, you know? But, well, and Jerry's just such a dork because when he gets okay, you guys, like how he just swears it's a prank, and he's just such a dork. And like, it was one of those things too. It's just like how in Pieces I was like, how are these dumb dudes getting all these hot girls? It's like Jerry's like, how did Jerry get Sally? But I don't know, whatever. That's just backstory we don't need, but I am curious. But anyways, he's just like, okay, you guys. And then Leatherface, he gets kind of into the house. So he gets down to the basement and finds Pam, who is now off the hook into the freezer, and she like is still alive a little bit. And then Leatherface catches him, and that's when he goes into the tantrum you're talking about. And
so sorry, when she popped up out of the freezer, was that a jump scare for you?
yeah, the first time I watched it, I think so, because it has the noise then too, right?
I think I
One
went,
of those
what
noises.
the fuck? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I'm pretty sure I did.
So was she alive?
Barely, I think. Because she was because we don't see her die. He puts her on that hook and she's still alive. I mean,
No.
it's not a great alive, but she's still alive. And I mean, not only does she have a hook in her draining her blood out, she's watching this guy cut her fucking boyfriend up with a chainsaw. So,
And he wasn't dead either, I don't think.
Well, he was twitchy and stuff. I think he was dead because that was like a death twitch. I think he was dead because he had him right in the fucking forehead with that hammer. And
yeah,
like
he
you
hits
said,
him a couple of times, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's a big guy, yeah. But then he murders Jerry, and that's when so now there's been 3 kids, and he just knows there's going to be more now, and he's freaking out. But so this is a roundabout way of me saying, like, what you mentioned the other day is, like, yes, he's probably frustrated all these kids keep showing up, but it seems like he's also afraid of pissing off the cook, and the cook is their older brother. But he's still kind of like the patriarch of their little group. And so it's like, oh, God, Dad's going to be so pissed when he gets home. That's kind of what's going on,
He's
And
like, oh, man, I did a bad thing I wasn't supposed to do. I'm going to get in so much trouble. Fuck.
And it's weird that is the time we get the best shot of him, too, is when he's not raging and trying to kill people, when he's just sitting there horrified. And maybe this is a good time to mention... I had this idea. Okay, so my daughter just went on a little shopping trip with some friends to the Mall of America. And she sent me a picture at the Halloween what is that store? Halloween Adventure? Is that the store? Yeah. No, what's
Spirit?
the store?
Spirit.
Oh, yeah, Halloween Adventure was the one in New York, wasn't it? Holy shit.
Yeah, that
the one Stuart worked
really
at.
Old.
Yeah. Fuck. Why did I even... There you go. How come I haven't thought of that in years? Anyways, Spirit Halloween. Okay, so she was at something like that. And sends me a picture of a Leatherface mask. And it's a mask or not from this part that we're talking about, but later on when he's got like the pretty lady face with the makeup on it and the black hair. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's so awesome. And I was like, how much is it? She's like, I don't have any money left because she's a kid. She doesn't have very much money. And I was like, that's okay. And I'm like, did you have the credit card I gave you for emergency? She's like, no, I didn't bring it. I'm like, well, this is not an emergency, just life lesson. But I would have had you buy that. With that, then I would just pay the card, whatever. But
that's so funny. For emergencies, this
it kind of is. But
one of those times where I will allow it.
Right. It's like no one's dying.
Man, you're a cool dad.
That mask is fucking cool. But so here's the deal. So earlier this summer at my job, I asked my boss, how much paid time off do I have left? And she just said, take it. I'm like, oh, that much. Okay. So I've been scheduling it randomly, and so I took off Halloween and Friday, the day after Dia de los Muertos, November 1st. So part of it was because I want to be home for trick-or-treaters and also to help my daughter get set up, because it's always, if I work till 6, get home and eat, and it's a rush, and then get the kids out, So I'm like, it'll be fun to just take the day off. So as soon as she sent me that Leatherface picture, I'm like, oh. So today, I probably spent too much money, but I ordered... the Leatherface mask, the nice, pretty lady one, and a replica chainsaw by the same company, yellow, and it's long, and it makes sounds, apparently. Whoa. And I've got a black pants, white shirt, black tie. Black shoes, black tie, white socks, black shoes, Cadillac, the buzzer time bomb. Anyways, whatever, I don't know. Anyways, so I'm going to do that when kids come to the door. And
oh my God. Is your daughter going to hug you? Like, yay, I hope so. Leatherface.
Yeah, she'll love it. She'll fucking love it. I already told her the plan, but she's like, that's great. I'm like, and if the kids are old enough, I don't want to scare toddlers.
Right.
And I don't want to get a weird reputation. But, I already have, I'm sure, a fucking bizarre reputation. That's I'm the one guy in this town who's worked in TV, for instance, and the TV show I worked on was fucking insane. So anyways, so I don't want more of a reputation, but I told Margaret, I'm like, okay, so if the kids are old enough, because I get, you get some teens at night coming to trick-or-treating, that's when I'm going to fucking chase them away. Like, I'll give them candy, and they're like, "Rrr!" And I'll do the fucking dance. I'll do the dance out front. Just twirling around. That'll be great, right?
Please have her take video of you, doing the dance in this outfit, and send it to me, please.
Yeah, I will. Well, yeah, it's, I'm sure it'll be on the news. I don't know, in a small town like this, it's possible someone will see it and be like, oh no, think it's real. I don't know. I mean, I sometimes I don't give my town enough credit. People here do love Halloween too, and not the movie. They love Halloween also. Some of them probably like Halloween too, but 1 and 3 are better. Anyway, so people might know it, but also it's possible that in the dark and they see somebody, running around with a chainsaw. I don't know. I'm also the guy that drives around my minivan at night on Halloween when I'm taking Margaret and her friends to go trick or treating. I keep the windows rolled down and blast the Halloween theme the whole time.
You're definitely like the cool dad in that town.
I think so. Even her like friend who kind of likes horror, like comes over to our house and looks at my massive movie collection, a lot of which is horror, and be like, "Whoa," Anyway, so that's my plan for Halloween, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh man, that's so cool. I took off Halloween too because I want to dress up.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I want to dress up and hand out candy. I've lived here for over a decade and I've never done that. And I was like, fuck it. This year I'm doing it. I don't care. I still need to get a costume though, but I have so much shit in my house.
You do. You do.
Like I pretty much I have a Jason Voorhees mask. I have the jumpsuit. I just put on my boots. I just need to get a fake knife or use a real one. I don't know.
Why not? I have a lot of that stuff too. And then I have like weird shit from Whitest Kids days. Like sometimes for mass and like a sexy red bra. That's the thing we had on the road when Darren would wear it when he played Sexy Fawn. And one time, years later, I never thought about it. I just had all these props around. And I was seeing this girl who ended up moving in with me. And like the first week she moved in with me, she like opens a closet. She's like there's just a red bra sitting on the floor of the closet. I'm like, what's the better explanation? Do I say, yes, they've had some woman over here, some hot underwear? Or do I say, oh, that's from the little play me and my friends made about me fucking a deer? What's the better explanation? I don't know. There's
the
probably
second one because it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, okay. Well, no, that girl knew about, what I was. So anyway. But anyways, I have a lot of that kind of stuff too. I have a Jason mask, so yeah. But it'll be fun to be Leatherface, and I'll definitely do the noises. Yeah. And I was telling Margaret, like, I should get some Billy Bob teeth. Those fake bad teeth you can buy.
Oh, yeah. Or get just like the black stuff to black out your teeth.
Or you can just knock some teeth out. I'm fucking 43. Do I need all my teeth anymore?
Yeah, have her do it. Get her involved. You want to have your kids involved in your Halloween costume,
Have her hit me in the face with a ball peen hammer. Yeah. Okay, honey. I'm gonna bite down on something, and you're just gonna smash me in the fucking mug with a hammer. Ready?
Get her a fucking wrench. Just have her fucking smack you in.
She's too nice though.
Or just get her some pliers and have her pull some out.
Oh God. What would you rather do? Get hit in the face with a hammer or have your teeth pulled out with the pliers?
As much as I hate to say it, teeth with pliers.
Really? For some reason, it seems a lot more painful or just a lot more torturous to me.
I feel like it's more painful in the moment, but that subsides. But like, depending on where you get fucking hit in the head with a hammer, like that's gonna do some long-term fucking damage. Like, you can get over your fucking teeth being pulled out of your mouth. I suppose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
what about like when they pull people like in movies and stuff? I know they did this in like Abu Ghraib, an actual real life torture situation. They pull a fucking fingernail out with like pliers.
Oh no, fuck that shit.
That's not good. You don't want that to happen.
No, you have so many nerve endings in your fucking hand. Like anything with your fucking hand is gonna hurt. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's yeah. But so okay, so
well, I was gonna say that you're going to be him for Halloween.
Yeah.
Had you been to any haunted houses that had somebody with a chainsaw that was dressed up as Leatherface in the haunted house that you can think of?
No. But been to haunted houses with chainsaws involved for sure. And the one that we're a part of here has a great chainsaw moment. But have you been to a Leatherface one?
So I went to one that was an outdoor Woods haunted house. Have you ever been to those?
No, I've always wanted to. We have one here I should go to. But
Yeah, you get on the back of like a long trail bed, and they like take you out to the woods, and they're like, okay, and they have all these tents kind of like placed up, and you go in these little groups. So we went through them. One that really scared me was a tent was completely blacklit, and they had Jason masks lined up throughout the whole thing. And then when you got to and of course, I'm always at the fucking end of haunted houses for some reason. Like, I'm always the last person in line.
Yeah.
Well, not always. There was another time where I was first, and whatever. I fucking hate haunted houses. I'm just going to say it. I hate them. I am the person that screams the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And piss my pants. So I get to the end of this tent, and somebody's standing there with a Jason mask as one of the ones that's on the wall, and like comes out. We were halfway through. I fucking floor it. I start running. My sister was like, where are you fucking going? I'm like, fuck this. I hate this. She ended up calming me down.
How old were you? Were you like a teenager or what?
Yeah. I'm in high school. So we're walking through the main path, and then all of a sudden there's like a kid next to me that I don't remember being part of our group.
Oh,
and I was like, who the fuck is this kid? So we keep going, and then almost to the end of the haunted house, Leatherface comes out of the woods with the chainsaw, really loud noise, and puts the chainsaw into the kid.
Oh, nice.
And the kid's laying on the ground going,
oh my God, that is
and like blood's
awesome.
coming out. I was like, I thought I ran really fast before with the Jason thing. I sprinted all the way to the fucking truck that we're supposed to get on to leave.
Wow.
I was done. I was like, give me the fuck. Like, I'm having chills now thinking about it. Because like, it was terrifying. I'm sitting on the back of the truck, like rocking back and forth going, I knew that kid wasn't part of our group. I knew he wasn't part of our group. Like he was just planted there, like freaking the fuck.
I'm never going to trust children again.
No, I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Where was this? Like,
this was in southern Indiana.
In Indiana? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's my fuck, that fucking thing sucked. Paid $25 to literally be like traumatized 20 something years later.
So I'm part of a situation here in town. Some guys I know made the Haunted Mall. They've been doing it. This is the 19th year.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah. They're all involved in the Lions Club. So all the money that they get, they use it to buy new shit for the haunted house every year. And they use it to, the Lions Club does stuff like buying eyeglasses for kids that need it and good stuff like that. So, but it started with these three dudes who are friends just wanted to scare people. And so they started doing one at their house, and then eventually our city hall building here has a basement, so they used to do it in there. And then it got too big. The lines got too big. The haunted house itself got too big. So they're like, okay, we're going to start renting out the abandoned mall, half of an old Kmart, so it's huge.
Wow.
And so they have this incredibly impressive maze that's just been there for years. And every year they they start working on it again on November 1st. And and there's like a rotating room. There's animatronics. There's all of this stuff.
Oh,
and
I love the rotating rooms. I've been in a haunted house with that, and it was so fucking cool.
It's really impressive. It's fucking amazing. And they only had to up the price lately to like $15, and it's incredible.
That's nothing.
And we get on average about 700 people a night, when we do it.
Wow.
And so I randomly met one of these guys, but I'm like, I love spooky stuff. He's like, you do? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you act? I'm like, yeah, I actually used to be on a television show. I do know how to act. He's like, because we need you for this. So, and that's 3 years ago. So this is my third year now. And so my job, I do a different gag every year, but I'm like halfway through the haunted house. You come into my room and I do something that's a little more performative and a little more of a bit so that I slow up the crowds so that the rooms ahead of me can reset.
Oh.
And this year, you know what? Because my friends that live here, some of them are going to listen to this, so I'm not going to say what my thing is this year, but it is fucking great.
Yeah, don't. No.
But my daughter's now into it, and her friends go in this room where they have smoke machines, but then they have at about waist level for an adult, they have all these green lasers, like laser pointers, right, on the sides of the wall, which means they illuminate the fog. So it's like at about waist level, there's just like a floor of fog and you can't see under it. So my daughter and other 12 and 13-year-old girls who are very bendy are all like squatting down under this fucking fog. And when you walk by, they're going to get you, you know? And what's great about these guys is they've been doing this shit for so long. It's like we had our first meeting last week, and I've already heard all the spiel, and so has Margaret, but there's other kids who had never done it before, where he explains psychology about it. And he's like, we're here to scare people, not terrify people, which is, you know, obviously not touching them is a big thing, and they can't touch you. That's a big thing. Right. But he talks about how in a group, he's like, you don't go for the front person or the back person because they're the brave people. He's like, you go for the girls because he's like, it's always girls. But he's like, you go for the girls in the middle. And yes, there's girls that you can't scare, and I've gotten some really good shrieks out of boys, so, you know, whatever. But a lot of times, it's even if they are not actually brave, you know, it's the boyfriend's going to be up front, you know, whatever.
Dude, you know what? I always hated, first, like how I said, I was always like the last person in the group going into the haunted house rooms.
Yeah.
What sucks about being the last person, so you got like 6 people in front of you, you see your first friend go in, and then you hear them screaming, and you're still in the other room. So you're like, fuck, what the fuck is in that room? I don't want to go in there. One time, Timmy, I get to the door, I open it. All of my friends had already run through this room because they were like, nope. I open it. There's no one in front of me. It's so brightly fucking lit with fluorescent lights.
Oh.
It's fucking Freddy Krueger at the very end next to the next door that I'm supposed to go through. And he's just sitting there staring at me.
Shandi.
And oh my God. And you know how fucking terrified I am of Freddy Krueger.
You hate Freddy Krueger. Okay.
I hate him. So I stand there like, I guess I could turn around and just run back the other. Like, I'm halfway through this haunted house, but fuck it. I'm just going to turn around and run back where it came from. Ugh. Or I can just run as fast as I can past him. He takes his fucking pointy little finger, his glove finger hand, and points right at me.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm going to get you.
Oh,
and
God.
I was like, no, you're fucking not. I sprint past him. Of course, right as I get past him, he lunges out. Oh my God, Timmy. I can't. I fucking can't with these haunted houses.
That's that good shit.
He got me so good. Like,
good.
I think I ran past the next room into the next room.
Wow.
And past past my friends and was like, this is why I don't do haunted houses. I hate it here. I feel like I'm that person that all the haunted actors are just so excited for, because I am truly fucking terrified.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's who we're looking for. And so there's a few there's 2 more notes about haunted houses I wanted to get to. And so one of them is, yes, okay, so that's who you're looking for. But also, if someone's too scared, you want to help them. And so the first year I did it, someone brought because this is one of those haunted houses. It's not like extreme or whatever. You don't sign a waiver, but it's like not for children. It's like, 13 and up is probably what you want to be. So someone brings, but people are fucking stupid. And someone brings like a, I don't know, 5-6-year-old girl, maybe younger. And she, by the time, we're in the middle. And that year we were doing a gag where my daughter is cutting my head off. No, I'm cutting her head off. That's even worse. She's a child. I'm an adult. I'm cutting her head off with a guillotine thing. Anyway, so, or actually the guillotine broke. So when they came through, I'm just sawing her head off with a fucking knife. But, because then we had a gag where she's actually in a behind thing where it raises, and so I could pick her head up, and it's cool. Anyway, so
that's amazing.
Yeah, so these guys, oh my God, one of them's like a bail bondsman kind of guy. One of them's a doctor. One of them's like a gym coach. So they're all these smart guys that they always figure out the tech. But anyways, so we're doing that, and this girl comes through with her family. She's like I said, 4 or 5, maybe 6, and she's just fucking sobbing. And so I'm like, okay, hey. I'm the guy that is supposed to help you, so I'm right by the exit door, or door out of the maze into just the abandoned mall, and then I walk her out to the exit, right? So I do that. And so, like, the next night, I didn't have to do this last year. Good. Hopefully not this year either. But so anyway, so the next night, after I help the little girl, I get like a teenage girl. I don't know. She's probably maybe 13, maybe 12, maybe a little younger. I don't know. But she's not having a good time. And her friends are like, do you want to go? She's like, I need to get out of here. I'm like, I'm the guy. I can help you out right now. So I tell Margaret, like, entertain these people. I got to go. So I walk this girl out. There's a door right next to me. So when you walk out of the maze where I'm at, where you're at is an abandoned Kmart. And it's like dark. And there's an abandoned Little Caesars in the corner. And it's like fucking gross and horrible. She's like, what is this? I'm like, this is how we get out. Don't worry. You know, so I'm walking her out. And we get towards the exit. And we come around the corner to get out the exit. Now, how they get people to exit this haunted house is they have this guy, I cannot remember his name, but he is a Gunnar Hansen body type, like Leatherface. He's fucking huge, and he's like chubby, right? And so when you get to the end, he appears behind you out of these plastic, like, you know, butcher curtains, the plastic things, you know?
Jeez.
And he's like a big fat dude, tall, 6-something feet, huge guy, shirtless, clown mask, chainsaw. And so he's like running at you, and this girl, like, so he's there, and we come around the corner, and he's standing there because he just chased a kid out, but the chainsaw's going. And she's like, oh my God, you're going to kill me. You tricked me. And she starts running further into the abandoned mall. We were like 4 feet from being outside, right? Like,
oh my God.
And she's like, oh my God, you tricked me.
That
I'm like,
would have
no.
been me.
I was like, oh, sweetie, no, it's okay. I'm trying to help this young girl. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it's okay. No. And like, he took out his mask and like, look, he's like a nice guy. He's just huge and scary. And it's like, and we got her out of there okay. But God, it was just like, because I mean, this guy, and, you know, there's like a red flashing strobe light and shit, you know, haunted house stuff. And he's like massive. And he's got this big ass chainsaw. And it's a real one. They just took the chain off, you know. And it's like, it's got the gas smell and everything. It's got this fucking clown. It's just terrible. And so this poor girl, like, she thought this was all some elaborate trick to kill her.
That's like, what I would have thought. I would have been like,
you know,
I thought he said he was going to help me. What the fuck?
And I was in a death shroud with like mascara all over my eyes, so it looked sunken. Like I'd look like a fucking creep, you know. So,
oh my God.
Anyways, haunted houses.
I was at another haunted house. I actually worked at that haunted house for a little bit when I was a teenager.
Did you scare people, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I was at the very, very end when it was in this like big abandoned building, but there was a little backyard area that they decorated. So a bunch of us high school kids. I got to like sit back in a coffin that was open.
Oh, fun.
And so I would just kind of like pop out as I would come out of the house. That was really fun. But they had a guy at the very end hiding by where people would finish the haunted house backyard trail part. And he had a chainsaw and he would actually chase you to your fucking vehicle.
Oh my God, I love it.
Especially if you were screaming. So if you came out and you heard, and we'd hear the chainsaw, and if you started screaming, because it was like, it dropped you right off into like this gravel parking lot where everyone's cars were. So people were like, oh, we're done. Okay, we're going to go to our car.
Like, oh,
nope.
Man. I love it. It's fun.
Like, you see people running into, trying to get their keys, and their keys fall, and they're like flailing on the gravel and shit.
Oh, man.
Fuck, it was funny as hell. It was so much fun to work the haunted house.
Yeah, it's great.
But no, I will never go to a fucking haunted house ever again.
Here's the thing: is you have a good body type for being scary because you're tall and skinny, so you can be in like creepy clothes and kind of like hiding somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I look like a fucking hobbit, so I have to like be doing stuff in order to scare people. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're naturally scary looking, but you know you can, you know, like you have that. You know what I mean? You can like look like a I don't know. I can just see you being scary.
We got to be with our high school friends. So
yeah.
We would have like wine and drink a little bit, and then we just got to like hang out with our friends all night and scare people. It was fun.
High school kids drinking, I'm telling. But yeah, my daughter and her friends, I mean, that's what, you know, it's like she's bonding with people doing this stuff. It's great. Mm-hmm. They have a room that's like a living room, but it's all fucked up and bloody and graffiti and stuff. But so there's this couch. And so you walk through, and there's a fridge that opens, and someone pops out and like, And that's one of the guys' other horror scaring people theories is you distract them, then you have the real scare somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So somebody hops out of the fridge and like, ah, God. And what they don't know is that the couch is fucking fake and hollow inside. And the reason it's sitting on a pedestal is because there's people in there. Like, so they just jump out, push the cushions. The cushions go flying. And the kids are like, wah! And that's when people are like, oh shit, and they haul ass out.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm out.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's just so much fun. And you know what?
Man, are you gonna do it next year?
Probably, yeah.
Dude.
What, you want to come out here?
I really don't want to go to a haunted house, but I will do it for this one.
You want to come out to our haunted house next year just to do it,
Yeah,
or
that'd
to
be
like
cool.
make it part of the show somehow? Okay.
No, I mean, it doesn't
just
have
to
to
do
be
it.
part of the show.
You're just saying
to,
just to
like,
do it. Okay, yeah.
just to come see what it's all about. It sounds so cool, just like the haunted mall.
And that's not the theme to it. The rooms, it's just like every room is scary is kind of what it is. But like the doctor guy, his whole shit is the clown room. And he has the clown room every year. He handpicks the other clowns, you know. Like it's like,
Cool.
this is the clown room, you know. And one of the other guys, he's always the haunted bellboy or bellhop guy, you know,
That
old school like
sounds
zombie
so
bellhop. Yeah, so his room
cool.
is like an elevator thing that makes you think you're gonna drop, you know.
Whoa.
And then the third guy is always just in like the room that's totally dark, and he's got glowing lights on him so you can't see. Oh yeah, it's a dark room with glow in the dark dots on the walls, and so he and another dude are also covered in the dots, so you don't know they're there. And
that reminds me of the Jason room with all
Yeah,
the like
which I was-
neon Jason masks.
Yeah, which I was gonna say, we have that too. We have the Jason room. It's really well thought out, really well done. And after Margaret and I went to Valley Fair, which is basically a Six Flags, and walked through 3 haunted houses a couple weekends ago, it's like ours is like up there, man. You know, it's like it's really good. You know, the Valley Fair ones, those theme park ones. There's a couple gags and like stuff they have in there that these guys I know could never pay for, right? But still, like, that's only part of it. And like the scare stuff, they have some, that's pretty cool. And yeah, you gotta come check it out. And it's funny because you love horror movies, you know, but I mean, that means you like being scared, but also I would think you were, you know, would find it more enjoyable than just scary. But like, because when I went to Terrifier 3, I laughed the whole time. I was the only person that showed up with food, you know, because all these like teenagers were there that had heard about it, you know. And I sat closer than everybody else there by several rows, and I had like popcorn and stuff, you know what I mean? And I laughed through a haunted house, you know?
I think I'm just traumatized by all the haunted houses I went through when I was younger. That
Yeah.
it just, even the simplest of a scare, like, makes me scream my head off.
Sure. It's from your dad showing you Texas Chainsaw when you're 9 or whatever. But, and not that we have to circle back to the movie, but here's a good time to, because you know what? All the shit, like, think about, like, people listening, right? Shandi and I just talked about haunted houses for, like, I don't know, however long we did. The haunted houses we were talking about, how many of those involved a chainsaw? And why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's because of this movie. And this movie was so scary in a fun way, but also in a scary way. Like, it's fun. You know, the whole evil cannibal rednecks thing is fun. And part of the fun is because it is realistic, like we were talking about. It could happen. But also, it's like so over the top, and like, you know, with the art direction, like we're talking about the crazy rooms and the characters themselves. And then, you know, we haven't really talked about the end much yet, but like the grandpa character, all that stuff, the dinner scene, you know, it's so fucking crazy. It's just a lot of fun. And so it's just but it's really, it's a scary deal too. And so I think that's why it works so well. Because, you know, like having Freddy or Jason pop out at you, okay, cool. But like Leatherface doesn't need to pop out at you to scare the shit out of you. Like,
no,
he's
you just hear
there.
a chainsaw and you're like,
yeah.
Leatherface. It's
Right.
so synonymous. Like,
Yeah.
that character is so synonymous with the fucking chainsaw.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear a chainsaw sound or see a chainsaw, I'm like, Leatherface.
At least until last week, and now you only think about pieces. But you think
No, I
about
still think about Leatherface.
Dick. You think about dicks getting squashed by Revlon press-on nails.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
anyways,
I think a pause would be good just because I have to pee.
okay, yep, all right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got pee-pee out my pee-pee hole. Oh.
You can come in here. Did you finish the Hunger Games book?
It ended crazy.
It ended crazy. Do you think they're going to make more? Because that was a prequel.
Yeah, Haymitch book.
Haymitch. That's Woody Harrelson. That's all I know.
Yes.
Yeah, and when I say Woody Harrelson, you have no idea what I mean. So
No.
that's the actor. Okay. Right. Are you singing the Macarena?
Macarena.
My
headphones on.
Hey, Macarena. I don't know the words. I had to learn them for Spanish class once.
What, the Macarena?
Yeah. When we were talking just now and my daughter came in, she mentioned something about Hunger Games, and she said Hamish. And the only thing, I don't know much about Hunger Games. I know that Hamish was Woody Harrelson. And I said, so Woody Harrelson? She's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, why would you know that? But it reminded me of something that I wanted to bring up with this, is because all the little sticks and hanging things and bones and feathers and shit in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, obviously that kind of iconography and stuff has inspired a lot of things, but True Detective Season 1 has all sorts of that kind of stuff.
I know.
Have you ever seen?
I've seen it, but I only saw it when it came out. I need to revisit it. I don't really remember any of it. I just remember liking it a lot.
It's so good. I watch it almost every year, but the first one I've never seen. I saw season 2 once. It's okay. I thought season 3 was pretty good. I've not seen season 4, and I love the lady that wrote and directed it, so I really should get to it. But anyways, but in that they have all those weird little sticks and things and skulls, and so it's very, I didn't even realize it till recently. But yeah, wow, True Detective, very inspired by a Texas Chainsaw. But yeah, let's. The dinner scene. We're kind of just talking about different parts that we like, but I mean, you can't really talk about this movie if you don't talk about the dinner scene. If we ended and didn't talk about it, people would be like, "What the fuck's wrong with them?"
Because we got excited talking about haunted houses and how Leatherface is so intertwined and intermingled with, like, I keep saying this when we record, but like horror movies are very, very intertwined in our lives for many, many, many reasons, and we keep remembering and I love finding out how they've always kind of been this very significant part of our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was from a very young age. Yours came a little bit later, but we keep it very close to our hearts.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. And this is the one.
Our
this
hearts.
movie is like the one. Yeah. Like when one of the first times I reviewed this on Letterboxd, I just quote it. Still the one, as in like quoting the song by the band Orleans. Still the one.
That's exactly what I heard in my head when you said that.
We're still having fun. Because, I mean, that's like, if I had a soulmate horror movie, it would be this.
Yeah.
It's just because even though, it was one of the first horror movies that I really, really loved, and I loved it because of Leatherface. I loved it because of all the set design stuff. I love the simplicity of the story. I love how beautiful the cinematography is. There's a lot to love about it, obviously. I love the acting. Jim Sedow, the cook, his acting, and the guy playing the hitchhiker. I forget his name at the top of my head. But, I just love all of it. And it's just they just build this world that's, like you've said a few times tonight, realistic, but also it's its own thing. It's like this slightly off version of reality. And I just love it so much. And so, that's still the one. If I have like, 800 horror movies or some crazy shit like that. 400 or 500, I guess. But you know what? But also, like, think about the dinner scene now, so at the end, Sally gets knocked out. She wakes up. They got her tied to a chair and they're having this dinner. So they're just sitting there.
That shot's so good too. Like from her point of view.
Yeah. When she comes to. Yeah.
And you're like, who the fuck is at the end of the damn table?
Yeah. And it's the grandpa. Get him, grandpa.
I quote this movie just randomly in my day-to-day life so much.
All the time.
Because of the end of this movie, where it's the POV of her looking at all of them staring back at her. It's Grandpa. Grandpa, for me, makes this movie, it just brings it to another level of fucking creepiness with this goddamn family.
Yeah.
Like, is he dead? Is he alive? Does he know what's going on? Is he aware? The makeup they did on him, like, holy fucking shit, it's so good. Like,
Yeah, it's like a mask on a guy.
he looks like a fucking one of the corpses that Nubbin Sawyer dug up. Like, he needs to be in a grave, graveyard.
And it's when they really break reality too a little bit, because like they go and get him, and like the part you're talking about, the line you're talking about is like, "Get that bitch, Grandpa," or whatever.
Get her, Grandpa. Get her.
God.
I
And
randomly
then,
just say
get
that
her.
shit out loud. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll just be like doing laundry or like traveling on the subway, and I'll just be like, it just pops in my head. Get her, Grandpa. Get her. And then it's the image of him like they're trying to put the fucking mallet in his hand, and it keeps the sound of it dropping in the bucket.
Yeah.
And then like the thud when it actually makes contact with her fucking skull.
Puts that little dent in her head.
Get her.
And to me, it's all so gross. And to me, the grossest part is like, so they take her hand and he, cut her finger, and he sucks her blood, and it's so gross. The sound is gross. The close up is so gross. But then then they cut to like this further away shot. You can see Grandpa's entire body sitting in the chair, and he does this like giddy little kid motion where he's like kicking his legs and his arms like a happy baby, or like when a little kid gets like
cotton candy or something.
Milk. Yeah, or cotton candy. Yeah, she's like, and it's just like, it just makes it so much worse that he's so happy about it. It's like,
Do you think that that's why Grandpa's still alive? Is because they've been sucking on blood and like drinking blood and shit?
So are you trying to say that you're thinking maybe cannibalism is the healthiest food you can eat?
That, or it's like the fountain of youth.
Oh.
Except for like it doesn't make you young again. It just keeps you from fucking dying.
Yeah, you don't die. You continue to.
You just
age.
You become this decrepit, nasty old fart.
Yeah, it's so gross.
It's disgusting.
It's just like, you've seen this whole movie, and it's like, wow, these creepy redneck guys, and this weird ass house, and you got Leatherface with a mask, and it's like everything's so horrifying and crazy and creative, and it's like then they tie her up, and she gets knocked out, and she wakes up, and there's this awesome dinner scene where they're inferring they're eating people and stuff, and then it's like, surely this movie's done. This movie's got nothing left of the tank,
like,
right?
She's getting murdered right here. That was my thought. Like, this isn't gonna go good.
But like, even no matter what happens to her, it's like, well, surely they're out of ideas. We're just gonna finish the story now. But then they go get this fucking what you think is a dead body, and then it's like barely alive, and it's just so gross. And then they're like, because they're so crazy, they're like, he's the best killer, all right. And so they think he could still do it, which leads to what you just talked about, the hammer, and just he can barely even hold it, and it's dropping, and it's just so, you're right, the sound of it hitting the bucket is just so awful, and that bucket is so fucking dirty and gross.
It's so gross. He's my second favorite character, so it'd be like Leatherface and then Grandpa.
It'd be funny if you were like Franklin, the brother, is my favorite.
Oh, poor fucking Franklin. I feel so bad for him.
I know, and he's annoying because he's kind of, his whole life situation sucks, and his sister and her friends are like nice to him, but also they kind of don't. Maybe it's just the 70s, I don't know, but they kind of don't give a shit that he's like in a wheelchair. They're just like running off to do whatever, and like, and they help him. They're nice, they help him go to the bathroom. It's the first time we see them and everything, but like, it still seems like they don't like him very much. But he also is annoying, but it's kind of not his fault. But another thing I wanted to bring up is Franklin does it, and the hitchhiker does it as he is, what you're talking about, wiping his blood on the car to make the symbol that we think maybe he was marking the car with. He's doing raspberries, and Franklin does it too, and I think another character does at some point maybe. But that thing, and it's like, why is that movie obsessed with that? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's something that like one of the people that wrote it, like it's just like something that is, I don't know, maybe it's something that like their family does, or because sometimes when you write scripts, like a lot of yourself goes into writing scripts.
It's funny too, because it's like, okay, so my daughter, for example, has seen a bunch of other horror movies, Jason's and Freddy's and whatnot, a bunch of the Scream movies and stuff, but I was always hesitant to show her Texas Chainsaw just because it's like I said, not as gory, It's not really as violent, but it's just so fucked up and disturbing,
It's really fucking creepy.
Yeah, like Jason in the woods killing people who have sex. Okay, fine. But these guys, I mean, they're like it's like you said, what was the word? You said desecrate, like how the hitchhiker desecrates the bodies. And like, yeah, there's something when you like violate the acceptable approach to death, that gets worse,
He's like playing with them. Like it's his fucking pastime. This girl is a stranger to all these people, and they're making it be this thing of like grandpa gets to like do what he used to love to do, which was doing all the slaughter. Like what the that's why this scene is so fucked up, because it's like they're enjoying what is happening to this fucking chick. And she basically, the last half of this movie, she's just fucking screaming her head off the whole damn time, because it's screaming. Terrifying.
Yeah, and and the other thing that's creepy about them is they're arguing because they're family, and they're arguing. It's her screaming and they're yelling, but what that is because with siblings, how it works is like, so that's normal. It's normal for siblings to yell at each other, and so everything they're doing is so matter of fact, like just another day. It's fucking Tuesday. Yeah, and it's like, whoa, and it just makes it so more horrifying that they're not really put off by any of this. They're just kind of like, yeah, that's what we do. We grab women off the highway and we fucking torture them and eat them.
You think she's actually, for me, I thought she actually wasn't going to make it out of this room, because Nubbins says like, give it to me. I'll do it. Do it. And that's right before she breaks free. As I was like, fuck, if he gets that fucking mallet, like she's done.
She's dead. Yeah.
There's no way.
But it's like, luckily he's so crazy and weird, and they're all such squabbling little weirdos that they drop it and she can get away. But and there's another moment we want to bring up when you're talking about like the hitchhiker's plan and what was he really doing and all that. And yes, I do think he branded it and they intended to do that. But then like, they kicked him out of the car when he cuts, or out of the van when he cuts Franklin. And so I don't think he really planned on seeing them again necessarily. And the cook and Leatherface didn't really know what was going on. But then everything happens. They end up with this girl at their house, and she's got the bag on her head. And, so Nubbins, the hitchhiker, sees the cook walk, bringing her home in his truck. And he just like kind of hitches a ride with him back to the house. They set the girl up. He takes the bag off her head, and the hitchhiker's surprised to see her because he recognizes her from before. And they, when he was freaking them out, they're like, he asked them to give him a ride to the Sawyer house. They're like, sorry, man, we're pretty much in a hurry. They didn't do it.
My house is right up here. You can just drop me off at my house.
Yeah, and that was probably him trying to get, a way to trap him too. But like, they're like, we're pretty much in a hurry, man. So then, way later, they got Sally tied up. He takes the bag off her head and recognizes her. He goes, oh, I thought you was in a hurry, So, like, I think you're right. I think, like, in a way, we're both right here. Like, the branding on the van, there was a plan in place, but also it didn't happen. But the kids just fucking ended up there.
I love it both. I love if it was organic or if it was fucking, like, they're that fucking smart that they planned this shit.
Yeah.
If it's organic and like it just is all happenstance, like that's fucking dope too. Like holy shit.
I do think that's what it is, because I also think like even just looking at this scene, it's like they're not really great at this plan. I think the reason they can keep people and have been doing this so long is they live so fucking far out in the country.
They're fighting with each other so much that like how do they get anything done?
Yeah, like Sally only escapes because that guy happens to drive by at the end. Like, she was pretty much screwed. So how many other times?
Well, fucking Nubbins when he's chasing her down the gravel driveway with the fucking knife.
Yeah, and he wasn't even going full speed. He was like toying with her.
That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I think of that every time I watch this. I'm like, why is he going so slow?
Because they're so used to it. They're so used to just having all this space where they can just get these people, And there's a few shots of that scene because she gets away from the dinner, she's running away, and by that time it's daylight. It's so creepy too that they've just been up all night, like fucking with her. It's crazy.
Oh my god!
And so she's running away, and he's chasing her, and then Leatherface is behind them running too with the chainsaw. And there's a couple shots of it that it look like they're like from the road, shooting these people, and it almost looks like documentary style, like newsreel footage of here's something we caught in our cameras, and which just makes it look more realistic. And then they get to the highway, and I fucking love. You know what? I'm sure someone's done it as a Halloween costume, but the trucker with his like poofy hair and his way too tight on his fat body, like yellow t-shirt.
That poor guy, but man, thank goodness
know.
for the hero of the story.
Yeah, he's the hero. I mean, Sally is too, but I mean, the guy, he's the only one that gets a good hit in on Leatherface.
He gets him good.
He hits a big ass wrench out of his semi truck and his tractor trailer, and he hits Leatherface in the head. And then Leatherface falls down and cuts himself on the leg.
He just keeps running. He's like,
Yeah.
fucking out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
this.
one of the bits of gore, one of the actual gory bits in the movie is Leatherface's own leg getting cut. And that's really gross. Like all the fat and shit they show it cutting into.
It's done
I
so
love it.
well.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Like, ow, ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah. And when you think about it, you said the trucker was the hero. And yeah, so Leatherface cuts himself the leg, so now he's limping. And so, yeah, the trucker's then like, okay, fuck this. And just runs off, leaves his trailer. It's like, I don't know, I'm out of here. And then Sally runs the other direction, and now a little pickup truck comes by, farm truck, whatever, and she flags him down and hops in. And as she's hopping in, Leatherface is getting up, but he's limping.
She's
So if
limping
that,
too, though. Like, they're both limping
Yeah,
now.
she is, but she was already limping,
Yeah.
right? So here's the thing so she was already limping from jumping out the window. So here's the thing is like, if the trucker hadn't hit Leatherface in the head with a wrench, Leatherface wouldn't have cut himself in the leg. He wouldn't have been limping then,
No.
right? So he would have caught her.
Yep.
Instead, he's limping because of the trucker intervention. And so so Sally gets in the car and goes off. And yeah, there we go. But yeah, so the trucker really, he saved the day here. And there is one of the many different editions on Blu-ray of this movie that's in a box that looks like that semi-truck.
Are you fucking shitting me?
No, it's real. It's so cool.
That is so fucking dope. Also, why don't we see any Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirts with like the trucker on them?
I know, right? Well, that's what I was saying. I wonder if someone's ever been like that guy for a costume, because it's too bad you and I were like drunk and high all the time when we knew each other, because we didn't always have time to plan things. And so wouldn't it have been great if we had like a group Halloween costume? And I mean, I would have to be Nubbins, because I kind of look and act like
I want to be Grandpa.
you would be Grandpa, you'd be great Grandpa. Sam Brown would have been Leatherface, because Sam's got the body for Leatherface. And then, I don't know, we don't know any guy that looks like the trucker, but we can figure it out. I don't know. But the trucker guy would be a great costume.
Yeah, it would.
So,
the very end of this movie is just imprinted in my brain forever. The fucking dance with the chainsaw.
yes.
I wanted to ask you, was that an intent? Do you know if that was an intentional thing that was like in the script, or was it just something that just happened?
It feels like it was improvised, doesn't
yeah,
it? It just
okay.
seems like they were out there, and because so he's chasing her away, and Sally gets away in the truck, and he's there. But then so they cut to this other shot, which is I assume the main thing you're talking about. So he is kind of dancing around a little bit in that at the ending, but then they cut to this other shot where it's just Leatherface. It's beautifully photographed. It gets a sunset and everything.
Is it a
And
sunset
he's
or a
like-
sunrise? I thought it was a
Oh,
sunrise.
you're right. It's a sunrise. I'm sorry. You're right. It's
And
a
it's
sunrise.
so
like I just
beautiful,
said.
like you said, like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just-
it's great.
He just is so
'Cause it's-
like, la,
yeah.
la, la, like he's like a kid again. Like he's
Yeah.
like, well, I didn't get her, but
Yeah, but I'm gonna dance, and it's like, well, and that's a great part of the dance too. Is like, so, A, it's just very bizarre and scary and creepy, because what the fuck is this guy's deal? A, B, it could be like what you're saying. It's probably a mix of both things, but like
Well-
what you said and what I'm about to say. But anyway, so it could be like childlike, oh, no, it's okay. But also it's like he's so mad. And we've already seen him act like kind of a toddler, and he's clearly some kind of man-child. And so he's just like, that's like, because I don't know if you've ever seen like a 2-year-old throw a tantrum, but it's
yeah.
kind of like that.
oh yeah, I used to throw
there's
tantrums like
flailing
that.
and shit.
Shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he gets scolded by the cook, and when he's put the chainsaw through like their front door, like even the cook is like, "Look what your brother did to the front door."
Look what you did to the damn door. Yeah.
But in the very beginning of the film, there's that drunk guy that's like, I've seen things. So is this like something that he's seen? He's like, he's seen this freaky ass family with like their man child running around with a fucking chainsaw. Like, is that just like something he does for fun? You know how like when you're a kid, you like, I'll hula hoop or like go to the playground. This is like what he does.
His little chainsaw dance. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's always that dude in the beginning of the film that's trying to tell you, like, I'm warning you. Take heed of my words. This is real life lessons that you can learn. If you go to a weird ass fucking town you've never been to before, and one of the first people you come across is an old weird looking old dude who's drunk or looks a bit freaky, weird or whatever, gives off some strange vibes and warns you about the town you're going to, don't fucking go.
Yeah, listen to the guy. He probably knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
People don't listen to the guy with the warning.
Never.
And who's the other person people never listen to in horror movies? The children, right?
The children.
And there's no children in this, you know.
Well, I guess Leatherface.
Yeah, but you can't really listen to him. Although I know you say that he kind of talks a little bit. And I never really noticed it, but he does. He is like, he's vocalizing. But I never understood it as words. But you're saying you can kind of get words out of it.
Yeah, he said when the cook is yelling at him like about everything, and he's like hitting him, and Leatherface is kind of cowering down. He's just like are you swear like that there isn't any more. He's like, I swear. He says I swear twice. I swear to gosh.
So, you know, there's always little things like that. And maybe it's just because you and I are both kind of like, have our head in the clouds half the time. So we don't notice things right away, you know? But like,
no, because
it's
I'm
like I recently
enjoying everything, but then like.
Right, yeah. Letting it wash over you so you don't always get the little things. Because like I said, I watch this almost every year. Multiple times a year. I've watched it 3 times this year.
Wow.
Because for you and I, well, because I watch it whenever I get a Blu-ray, I like to watch it. So I watched it when I got the Blu-ray this year. I watched it on August 18th, as is kind of a religious thing for me or whatever. And then I watched it a couple, last week or whatever for you and I to talk
That's funny.
about.
This is for you what The Crow is for me. I watch The Crow every year on Devil's Night, which is coming up.
But I don't dress up as Leatherface with a mesh shirt on and look good. So, You know what we should do is we should just like
revisit it next year.
One of the sequels. Yeah, we could. On August 18th. Maybe.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that's.
Or we could even just talk about a sequel sometimes. Watch part 2 or something, and then just talk about this again.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because I definitely need it. I'm very envious of your collection.
That's what I'm saying. Come out here to the haunted house next year, but also you got to give yourself a day or two to just crash at my house and like see my movie collection. I'll go to work and you can just like watch movies. Yeah, totally.
Well, I appreciate that you are creating your own video store in your home because those aren't really things that we can visit anymore.
Yeah. Well, the thing is streaming is ruining the world. Yep. And I always tell people when the streaming wars happen and nobody can watch stuff on streaming anymore, you're going to want to find the physical media collectors. So they'll come to me, for example.
You're going to have
and they'll be like, do you have entertainment? I'm like, yes. Do you like Italian horror movies from the 70s?
And no, Timmy will not be wearing a paisley polyester shirt.
No, fuck that. I'll be dressed cool like I'm always am. I've been wearing a t-shirt and jeans my entire fucking life. That's what I'm wearing. Anyways, yeah, well, I feel like we did it. Did we do it?
I think so. I know we didn't really talk about the movie as thoroughly as we have other movies, but this movie means so much to us that like...
Yeah, it's more about using it as a way to get excited about talking about stuff. And it's like... And it's really ensconced. There's a good one.
Hell, hey, look at you.
Ensconced.
That's a damn good word.
Onced, ensconced. Anyways, it's very ensconced in both Shandy's life and mine, and it's just a beautiful movie. It's it's the only time something like that has ever happened or ever will happen, and it's just beautiful, and it's the perfect horrible scary movie. And it's, I mean, you know, even taking off any labels, it's just one of my favorite movies. It's beautiful. I love it. So it's important.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I've seen a movie since I saw that movie where I went, yeah, that's better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that's never
Yeah.
been a thought in my mind watching a
Right.
movie. And me and you have seen a shit ton of fucking horror films. So
Yeah, you know, if, my letterbox is like, I'm on track to, I'm further than the number of days in the year.
oh damn.
And it's not only horror movies, you know, it's a lot of stuff, but still, I'm at 327.
Holy shit.
And what day of the year is it? It's probably not even 300 yet. It's 295. So
Well, I'm on number 75 of episode of Tales from the Crypt.
wait. Episode 75. You've been watching the whole series?
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah, girl. All right. So I want to ask one more question, then we'll be done. What, if you were a cannibal, what part of the body would you eat first?
And that means that like the whole body's available. Like parts of it haven't like been blown apart by like an airplane and things like that.
Yeah, you just hit Kirk in the head with a hammer. You got his whole glorious 70s denim Canadian tuxedo body laying in front of you, and you get to pick what cut of meat to go first.
Ah, this is something I've never thought about. Oh my gosh. The limbs. There's so many limbs. There's so many choices.
You know what? That's a good point. Now, so I think I know my answer. Because you know what my favorite part of a chicken is? I just go with the same thing for humans. The thigh.
A thigh?
Yeah. Like, I got a lot of meat on my thigh. It's not all fat. I have, like, nice muscly legs.
I thought you were going to say love handles because I think that's just like...
I thought about it, but that's just fat. Is that bacon?
Well, just because we keep talking about love handle
Yeah.
kills, I was like...
Well, I have them. Yeah.
I would probably say like not buttocks for sure,
Like the ham, the hocks.
but definitely like a part of the leg. Yeah, I'd probably go for a leg. Well, cause you can like, I feel like you can like cut off like from the knee down and like you can hold it. You know what I mean? Like with both hands.
Yeah, like a turkey drumstick. Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun food.
I don't know. Would you eat the brain?
Have you ever boiled down the head into head cheese? You ever had head cheese? It's real good.
You like it.
You don't like it? Yeah, I like head cheese.
You like it if you didn't know what was in it.
Yeah. Oh, you like it. It's like, dude, I don't know.
Have you ever had head cheese?
No.
Yeah, me either. Fuck no.
But one time at a Halloween party we went to, my mom made a cheese ball, which is, you know, cheese with nuts on the outside.
Oh, those are delicious.
Yeah. And so she found a little spreading knife that looked like a meat cleaver.
Oh my
And
god.
so she made it look like a face, like used pimentos for like the eyes and stuff and made a face and put the fucking meat cleaver in its head and
That's
the label
amazing.
on it said head cheese.
Your mom is a delight.
No, she's awesome, man. It's real good. Laughing at my hitchhiker impression.
It was really good. I swear,
you.
you got the best impressions, man.
Thank you. You know what? There's a universe where I am involved in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise as one of those brothers because I love Hitchhiker and I love Chop Chop in the second film, who's kind of like Nubbins' twin brother or whatever, something like that. And okay, so that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, dude, I'm glad we talked about it. So let's do the outro. Thank you, everybody. Please follow. You know what? If you like this, tell people. And like, we don't care. Like, Shandi and I are very busy. We don't need this to be our career, but we like doing it. We would love people to hear it. So if you think somebody would like it, tell people.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions or movies you'd like for us to talk about, you can email us at info@earnfullapopcorn.com. That's URNFULLA popcorn.com.
Cool. And just look up Earnful of Popcorn on other social media things too. And there you go.
Okay, cool. But also, yeah, we have a website.
Earnfulofpopcorn.com.
Yeah, got like cool stuff on it.
Thank you to Jordan Cooper for the theme song.
Yes, and sorry, Steve Ward. We should have been mentioning that you created our fucking amazing logo for Earn Full of Popcorn. We appreciate you so much. Steve Ward also has a podcast called Disaster Piece.
Also, Steve Ward has a British accent still, right? So he's probably more fun to listen to than us.
What are you talking about?
I thought he was British.
No.
Or is that somebody else?
He's Canadian.